Welcome everybody to the Nail Shop. This is Jonathan,
And Cassandra.
bringing you the latest and greatest. I don't know what, but the latest and greatest of it.
You just told me that you needed to say something and say for the podcast.
Okay, so you ready for it?
Oh, yeah.
So, now that everybody's working from home,
Okay.
I was hearing that the banks in certain states in general
Uh-huh.
are trying to add a new tax to people who work from home for the privilege of working from home. Because it's a privilege.
Um. I'm sorry. Um.
You want more details on this privilege?
Sure.
So, part of the reason it's a privilege is because you are no longer in the economy loop because you're no longer commuting to work, so you're not visiting like the restaurants you would or paying for parking or paying extra for gas, and now you're using your residential home as commercial
And who's
property.
doing? And who's doing this? You said.
Right now it's mostly like New York, New Jersey, but I think I've been hearing that
Ooh.
a lot of the banks are behind it because they're the ones.
Well, they're the people that they go out and they go lobby these politicians to get it passed into some type of reform or a bill or a law. Well, you got to go to a bill before it becomes a law, but that's how that happens. So, do you know what banks by chance? Please don't tell me Chase.
I don't know, but I'm assuming Chase.
Oh
That's
God!
that. No, I think it was mostly Bank of America because they're the ones dealing with all the government money right now for people, like all the people
Yeah.
getting their
Oh
stuff.
my.
You know, Bank of America shady.
Yeah,
So,
let me hold on.
but another one of the main reasons is because commercial real estate is worth more and taxed higher than private residential real estate. So it's like now that they're losing money on commercial property even more, they're like, oh, and now we're getting less tax money for, you know, real estate tax and property tax and stuff
But
like
as
that.
an employee, I'm not responsible for your real estate tax and your. That's the businesses that
Well-
goes underneath the business.
Well, I did find out from watching this one guy I watch on YouTube,
Mhm.
who was going through his little last year was looking for his new upgrade for his commercial property,
Mhm.
and I don't know how. I know it probably don't work that way out here, but now that in New York,
Mhm.
a lot of your leases make you pay the taxes on the property.
Oh, that's New York, not in California. Here, this is what you're speaking of, correct?
Mm-hmm. Because you have an advantage that the people who do have to go into work don't
Okay,
have.
so here goes this article that we just pulled up from CBSNews.com. You guys, like this is bogus. Listen to this.
Now, one bank has a novel idea to level the playing field. Tax people working from home to help others who aren't getting the same advantages. In a report from
Let me just pause you for 1 second. So they said to tax people who aren't getting the same advantage.
yeah, because you have the advantage of not having to pay for all the other stuff.
So
you
people
pay
came
for.
at this. I've had my business for home for years before COVID even got here. Okay? And a lot of people looked at my business as a little funny because I chose to work from home.
Mhm.
But ever since y'all have came to my place of business, which is my home, I have been on a spree more than ever to find an office because I need to conduct business. Okay? So, and you're working from home. That's not a privilege. You don't want to work. Yes, a majority of your job is working from home. But just watching you you like to be hands on as far as knowing what's going on within your
My consumer base.
right, exactly. Okay. I was trying to find the right wording. Okay. So even though you're not the one actually physically doing the work, you're observing to be able to get what needs to be done and so on and so forth. Versus taking it from a third party. Okay. And I've watched you be more stressed out not being able just to go pop in and get an observation so you can do your stuff than it is from another person who isn't doing their job the way that you would have because of all of this channeling. You know what I'm saying?
Like, being able to get hands-on with staff and
right, do training,
talk to consumers privately,
right, to figure out who actually where the problem is coming from.
Right.
Okay. So that's an insult, but you can keep going. So, and this is from a bank, you said. Okay, but I thought we paid the bank. Do we not? Okay.
So it says to rebuild the economy after COVID-19, economic experts propose a 5% daily tax on each employee who works from home. And I know why they said daily is because when they were doing the polls, a lot of people said that they would want to still work from home 2 to 3 days a week. So it's going to penalize you for every day you don't go commute to work.
Okay, I promise you, 5%.
I've heard higher. I've heard 10.
The tax income tax rate right now is 10% for. Hold on, let me see. Hold on 1 second.
Well, let's just roughly 40% of your money goes to taxes already.
It depends on. I don't like to say that because because you've already done the statistics as far as how much money the average person makes in America.
Right. It all depends on what income bracket you're in.
So,
and stuff like that.
and the reason why I like to say that, especially because since I do taxes, and people will be like, "Oh my God, I pay 40%." No, if you made under $10,000, if you made anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000, no, you didn't. Okay.
Right.
Stop it. Okay. But the fact that they're not saying, oh, people who make this kind of money. They're just saying anybody.
Yeah, it's going to be a flat tax rate.
Okay, so, but not everybody is making work, even though you're working from home. A lot of people still making $8 an hour. $6.45 an hour. Okay, like it's not a lot of people out here making $10, $11, $12 an hour. That was the whole complaint with the unemployment and cashing out people. What was it, $600 a week?
Yeah.
That was their whole. They was like, shit, let me get 5. Cause you was getting more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are making more money off of, this unemployment and the stimulus than they were out of their regular jobs.
Right. So if you come up here, okay, I just wanted to get the numbers. Okay. So if you make anywhere between nothing. $9,875 because they just changed it. That's why I was kind of like, with the 10. You only pay 10%. That's 10% of the $9,875. Okay. Now, mind you, there's certain standard deductions that you're gonna get. If you have any kids, earned income, all of those things are gonna help fluctuate. Okay, but that's 10%.
Right.
For somebody who, so you won't have somebody who don't even make 10 racks. So that typically could be this person who makes $9,875 for the whole year. Okay, so isn't even $1,000 a month. You're looking at 15%.
Yeah.
Which can actually really. Okay, so let's say, all right, cause I love numbers. Okay, 9,800. I can't stand the banks, and if it wasn't for the fact that because I try to conduct my business without a bank. I did, and it got me up to just a certain point. And I got to a certain point, and it was just like I had to get a bank account. But you was with me.
Yeah.
I didn't put my money in banks because I didn't trust them because I've been down that road where it's like they nickel and dime you, and they figure out how to take your money from the money that you earn. I earned this freaking money.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
So here's the rationalization for why that 5% is just the opening amount.
Okay.
Why they actually want to go higher.
Okay. Higher?
Because here's the catch. Is they're saying that had you went into an in-person job instead of having the luxury of working from home.
Okay.
That you would have paid for gas, you would have paid for like your train ticket or your bus ticket.
Okay.
You would have paid to go out to eat for lunch. You would have paid.
Oh, so the fact that since you and the kid have been working from home and schooling from home, my light bill done went up.
Right.
I didn't have to get a higher internet speed.
They don't care about that.
But that's me. That's me contributing. I didn't have to buy more food for the house.
Yeah.
Because we're at home and we're eating.
That doesn't matter. Cause
my gas bill went up because I'm cooking more.
Yeah.
That don't matter.
It don't matter to them because that's not helping the people who own the commercial real estate property.
Okay. So everything is about commercial, not the little people.
No. So that's your daily just commute stuff. Plus, like the money you would have spent for like dry cleaners, the money you would have spent for parking,
right?
The money you would have spent for blah 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 blah. So they're like, you would have spent way more than 5% of your check paying for all that. So because you took the luxury and after this supposed to kick in after COVID. So because you're gonna choose to work from home for the luxury and privilege of working from home after this is done, then you have that extra money you would have spent because of work. So it's your duty, I believe the phrase they use, or your responsibility to pay more taxes because you're taking away from the economy.
Oh my gosh.
So, and the reason I had brought this to your attention was because, nail shop theme show. A lot of nail technicians work from home legally. You know what I'm saying? Not, and
it's funny. It just depends on the state, but some states I've already heard that they trying to shut that shit down.
Right.
But it used to be it was okay as long as you went and you did everything that you get your little license.
Right, because you can still make it just as hygienic and all the other stuff.
Right. But yeah, wow, that's horrible. Not only is it horrible, but that goes down to like the whole. This is why you gotta vote and find out what people really are about. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be like, oh, that person's a Democrat, that person's a Republican. You gotta go see.
Because there's some liberal Republicans and some very conservative Democrats.
Right. You have to see what these people that are representing us.
Not what they say, but what they actually
what they stand behind.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you can go on to what is it? The Senate.gov, I believe it is.
Yeah, because all that's public record.
Right, and you can go and see who voted on what bills. You can go and take a look at the bills that are even supposed to come up. And you can find out because at the very, 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 it just depended on the bills. Okay, They could be a page or two, or some of them could be hundreds of pages, maybe even 1,000 pages. Okay, but always at the very, very end of it, you're gonna be able to see who signed it, who was a yay or a nay for it.
Yeah,
and who they represent.
Yeah, just who abstained.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes you have to go down, especially if you're like, okay, for instance, Kamala Harris. Everyone was just, not everyone, a lot of people within the black community was like, well, you got to stand behind her because she's black. Or you have to stand behind her because she's a woman. You're a woman. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I need to see your works. Okay? I need to see what you've done. Same thing for Trump. People are like, well, I don't know what anybody was saying about voting for Trump. But, a lot of people was like, don't vote for him. Okay?
Yeah.
But
I got you saying don't vote for him because of the what you're hearing You know, as far as the publicity of
right,
what outrageous thing he did or didn't do or say,
right,
versus what bills and did he actually allow to pass?
Exactly. And my thing is, the banks already got bailed out. Y'all already got y'all help. Okay, y'all went and you allowed, and it's the reason why professionals are professionals. Mm-hmm. Because as a professional, it's your job to tell somebody no, even when they think it's a yes. Even when you let them know why it's a no. Okay? Even when they think it's good for them. That's the reason why doctors are allowed to prescribe medication. Because they have been entrusted with that professional trust of you aren't going to let someone harm themselves.
Right.
Okay? You're not going to cause harm onto someone else. The banks already came up in here as the professionals, okay? Because they have certain guidelines that they have to uphold.
Right.
All right?
Business ethics.
Exactly. They allow people to come, even before housing, they allow people to do investments with other people that were complete and utter bogus. Completely and utterly bogus. But you was feeding these people.
Yeah.
Okay? Wolf of Wall Street. That's a real man.
Yeah.
That was a real pyramid scheme.
And he makes more money now talking about all the illegal stuff he did.
Than
he did when he was doing all the illegal stuff.
Right. Okay? But them banks knew what was going on.
Right.
All right? Just like the feds knew what was going on. But the problem between the feds and the bank is the feds got to get the proof to stick it on your ass.
Yeah.
All right? Not one time in history have we held the banks responsible for anything that they've done to our economy. Because when you streamline it down, it comes down to them fucking up. Okay? Yeah. When all of this stimulus stuff was coming out and people were supposed to be able to go get those PPP loans.
Yeah. And then no small businesses weren't getting them.
And so if you have small businesses doing a lot of employment, and the whole reason why you have to have this PPP was so people didn't have to get freaking unemployment.
Right.
But you weren't allowing these small businesses who were supposed to be the only people to get them. Multi-million-dollar businesses were not allowed to be able to up.
Because you're supposed to have
you're supposed to already have
exactly
for 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So them people weren't. It was them small businesses, and it was outlined. All right. These small businesses were supposed to get it first, so they can be able to pay off these employees, so unemployment wouldn't go sky high, and have that trickle down effect with the economy. Okay. They were supposed to do what Disney did with the furloughs.
Yeah.
Okay. We can't have y'all coming in right now, but we gonna furlough you. We can kick y'all a little something, a little stipend, a little something.
And you know what? As much flack as Disney gets, they were the only big businesses who are handling this pandemic the way you're supposed to. Right.
Okay. They got you. We're gonna take care of our little people. All right. It was a lot of people like trying to, take up, like they're like, we're not gonna pay our rent because we got these things, coming up and popping, not coming up and popping up, but what was it? Those Mirandas that was being signed, and you had people who were like, I genuinely can't do it because I needed that second damn job that I physically gotta go to. There is no that restaurant job, that waitress job, right. That valet service job, valet parking.
And a lot of it is everyone's trying to figure out who's gonna be stuck with the bill. Like even if you like even these court shows now that all the shows are coming back, you can tell which are the new ones because they all got like
the mask and they're spaced out.
Not only the mask is spaced out, but they got like the polyglass in between the judge, in between the plaintiff and the defendant. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen it even on shows like the People's Court where like a lady was supposed to have a wedding, and the person who was supposed to provide the venue
had to cancel.
Yeah,
it's not her fault.
Right, but they were still trying to make her pay for the last minute cancel, you know, because it wasn't they were trying to make her pay for it because it wasn't their fault that the venue wasn't available. And the judge is like, at the end of the day, someone has to get stuck with the bill, but it ain't gonna be her because she didn't cancel the event.
The world,
y'all couldn't provide it,
right?
So you the one who stuck with it,
right?
But that's kind of where everybody's in crisis mode. And the reason it was worse was because I guess because this was early during COVID.
Okay.
So somebody else did provide a venue within the community.
Okay.
And these people spied on the event and took pictures of the ceremony from a distance, and then tried to use that as another reason because they lost income because she went to somebody else. And they're like,
but you weren't going to provide the venue.
Which was the judge's point. But it goes back to everybody's trying to figure out ways to have somebody else get stuck with a bill right now so they don't have to. Wow. So, and the reason I say that is because, so when I initially heard this, it was from that guy whose channel I tell you I watch. His name's Louis Rossman, right?
Louis, you just got a free shout out.
Well, if anything, if someone heard us say him, we might get more plugged into that. He's pretty high up there.
Louis.
But my point is, like, so what he was talking about was how, I think it was like in New Jersey or something, they were saying that it's the people's fault because they don't vote enough. And that a lot of these taxes and stuff are on the voter bill, like you were saying. But they're saying how this is the reason for people need to start voting more now. But his point was like, a lot of these areas have become such a cesspool when it comes to money. It's too late. You can't undo it because you can try to fight tax increases and stuff, especially on like property, like your personal property, homes and stuff that people are losing.
Yeah.
Because now even in retirement, they're getting their property tax raised. And it's like they ain't got 40% to pay. They ain't got no income. They're retired. And it's like it's too late now. Because the state still owes the money. The states all these states are in debt now. So the money got to come from somewhere.
It's funny. We had one in our city, and they wanted to raise tax 8% so we can get more police and more. I don't even think firefighters was on there because we already had a bill for them and they got passed. When I tell you that thing didn't get passed, that thing got a swift no. Like, it's up to your people. And you can tell. Like, just for instance, like this last little election. All you gotta do is it shows you how many people voted. It tell you. It don't tell you like this person voted for whatever.
Because all voting is supposed to be anonymous.
Right, exactly. But there's a grand total. And that grand total is tallied for all things.
Yeah.
So if you take a look at your census and you got 1 million people and you didn't even have 500,000 votes, got a problem. You got a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. That means it needs to be some advocating going on. That's where public service, and unfortunately, I'm going to be honest with you. If you know anything about the government and public service, if you really want to make a difference, you're not going to get no paycheck. Okay? Those people who go out there and really make a cause, make a change of that effect that you're speaking of, ain't no pay. They ain't no job for that. Okay?
Well, it's a lot of it's like the word of mouth. Like,
exactly.
So, like with the firefighter one that was a couple years ago. Like, I kept saying like, hey, like what's this thing I keep seeing the signs about? And you were like, I don't know, but I keep seeing the little posters, right? And I looked into it, and it was a sales tax increase,
right,
to fund firefighters,
right,
in our area,
right.
But And everyone kept saying, vote no, vote no, vote no, vote no.
But if you voted no, then the property taxes.
And that was the thing that people didn't think about. When I looked into it, it said, if the vote is no, property tax is going to go up by this percentage.
And it was high as hell.
And I told everybody, I kept telling that I knew who had a home. I was like, because they were like, oh yeah, I have a money. Dude, like, because the whole premise was it was a sales tax, so whoever comes through the community who might need the firefighters, you know, randomly is helping pay this tax. Versus you homeowners who about to get stuck with this bill.
Right, and I'm not even a homeowner, and I remember telling myself, I'm going to be a homeowner one day. I have to vote yes.
Right.
Like, I can't let this go past, because once I do become a homeowner and that was to pass, I'm going to be asked out.
Yep. It's another thing that I always like when you say people, when you always talk about people not being well versed on like what's being voted on, and they need to be like, what do people always say? Oh, I can't read through those bills, or I don't understand. First of all, they're written in regular language.
Yes.
Because that's part of it. Even when they might first come out and be more technical.
They give you a version that's straight up layman's terms.
Right. And not only that, but people come, oh, well, it's too much, and I don't have time for this. It's like, I remember when Trevor Noah was like still a new comic.
Okay.
And I used to watch his stand-up stuff.
Trevor, we just gave you a shout out. Just so you, okay.
Yeah, I was wondering if you was going to say that to the host of the Daily Show or not, but.
I love Trevor
So. But he would talk about how Americans they have so much access to their government that other countries don't have, yet they have zero interest in having it, which is probably why the government gives them all this access, because no one's going to use it.
God, I love going through that and reading it and figuring out if you're lying or not.
But here's what his point was. People say like, oh, I can't just sit there and sit through all this, like, because you don't have to, you know, I don't know if it's different in every state, but you know, the channel dedicated to like watching the Senate, and watching Congress and stuff like that. And he was like, it's amazing. Like, I get it. Like, there's so much information to take and so much stuff to remember. Who's your senator? Who's your representative? Who voted for what? I mean, it's not easy to digest, like, remembering the statistics of every person who ever played for your baseball and basketball and football team dating back to the 70s.
Wow.
Like, remembering Michael Jordan's baby mama's name, ex-wife's family members, his scoring points per game in college.
Don't forget high school and middle school.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, or remembering every variation of every color of every Jordan that came out in the last 20 years.
Right.
So you can know whether or not you bought it or not.
Right.
You know, that's not light blue, that's Carolina blue with a hazel tint. Like,
right.
You know, so I can understand how you may not remember, like, who your senator is.
Right.
You know, I can understand that.
But even if you don't, Google that shit.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's funny because I don't remember. I don't know my senator. I don't. But the treasurer, until he got voted out, I remember them. I remember my treasurer. I can point them out. Now, unfortunately, my county, and that's because of all of the corruption that goes on within my county. What is that person? Not governor. What's that?
Comptroller.
Yeah. No, because they call them different out here.
Mayor.
Yeah, not the mayor, but because we're like a town or something like that. But we don't know who that person is. But they always make sure that they stay behind raps, especially during this COVID thing. But then I found out it was because he was doing a lot of cricket shit. So I was like, oh, this is why I can't find you. But like, I know my governor. I know my governor, Gavin Newsom. You know what I'm saying? I make sure I voted Newsom in. Oh God, I can't. Mayor Garcetti for LA. I don't live in LA County, but you know what I'm saying? I'll follow his stuff because one thing I know about my county is we're going to follow LA County, and LA County is going to follow San Francisco because they're going to listen to the mayor. I mean, the governor. Our mayor, the mayor's going to listen to the governor, period. Yeah. Like, that's how our infrastructure works.
That's so the opposite of Chicago.
Like, I don't care where. And then, because to be honest with you, outside of like, okay, so I guess so you, the Bay, LA County, San Bernardino County, like, if you're not like one of those counties, technically you just like a little itty bitty. Like, don't nobody know your county. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me, y'all. But if you're not like in like one of those big counties.
First of all, I come from Cook County, Illinois, where everybody who's anybody with, if you a suburb, tries to figure out a way to say they from Cook County. You know what I'm saying? Or Cook County adjacent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, we got other big counties in Illinois. You know, like Joliet, which is the second biggest city in Illinois. Ain't, I mean, not, what was it? I think Aurora's the second biggest, not Joliet. But they're not part of Cook County. They're like the next county. I don't know if it's Lake County or whatever it is, but they're the next county over. You know? And it's like, but nobody cares.
Right.
Like, being the second biggest city in Illinois is like being like the biggest city in like Arizona. And being, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cares. Like, nobody cares if you're from Phoenix. Unless
right,
you're from
Arizona. That's funny because like Orange
like,
County is his own little county, but don't nobody give a shit about Orange County.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people know Orange
County.
County.
They know. Yeah, but they don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
well, imagine if you were from Orange County, New York.
Ooh. Oh, that's raggedy.
No, cause you know
you would feel some type of way.
Well, because I didn't know there was an Orange County, New York, right? I used to watch that American Chopper show, the one where the father and son used to fight all the time building the motorcycles.
Okay. I used to like that show.
And they were called Orange County Choppers, but they were in New York. And I had to research them and be like, why the hell are you representing California so hard? And you like, they stereotypical like, not
Yorkers.
Like city New Yorkers, but like,
I know what you mean.
You know, like Buffalo style New Yorkers type of people. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then I found out that there was an Orange County, New York, which is probably older than the one in California.
Probably.
So I'm like, damn, that's gotta suck.
Yeah.
You know, like if anybody named Chicago that's not in Illinois, like that would have to suck
it's
to
so little
explain to people.
Well, it's like right outside, like right outside. You know, like it's funny because San Diego, that's its own little county, but you just think of the city.
I mean, like if you're from like Springfield, Missouri, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you have to explain that you're not the Springfield in Illinois or Massachusetts. Like,
yeah.
Like, and then since there's like 12 Springfields.
Why don't you just live in St. Louis?
You know what I'm saying? There's like 12 different Springfields. You have to go through. Oh, the one from this one? No. The one from this one?
No.
This is the one I'm from. We matter. No, you don't.
I think
New Mexico. At least voting power wise, you don't.
New Mexico, I think they have a Las Vegas, don't they? A Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Oh, I don't know. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my god! But I think they do, and everybody's like, "Nah, it ain't nothing." Like, hold on, you got about to make me go do. It's time for government. Yeah, no.
I feel like we developing a lot of people hating us right now.
I know. Let me stop.
Like, I'm not trying to talk trash about it. I'm just saying, like, voting power wise.
Right. Like, you're little wherever you're at.
Like, there's a lot of NBA players, like, low key. They either come from or live in Riverside, California.
Yeah.
But Riverside's votes ain't never gonna matter compared to LA or New York.
Well, and that's the reason why, and because it's crazy because we have a lot of Republicans in Orange County. Like, that's what Orange County is. It's Republican. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And y'all've never seen California red. California has never been a red state. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what's going on as far as presidential. You know what I'm saying?
Which goes back to your exact point. There's only 2 areas of California that are Democrat. There's only 2 blue areas in the entire state. L.A. and San Francisco. The rest of the whole damn state is red. If you leave the borders of L.A. or San Francisco, you are in the most conservative areas in the country outside of Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll be in the middle of nowhere. Them farm those dried out farms in the middle of California with all the signs on the road saying, "Help us, we need water," and all this other stuff.
Right.
They read.
Yes.
Like hardcore.
Yes.
And it's like, you see, they votes haven't helped them get water.
Oh.
Like,
Babe, you discouraging the people from voting. Don't discourage the
no,
people from
I'm
voting.
saying if more people would have came out, you know what I'm saying?
But it's not that many people in them places.
But that's why I said it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
Like, you got to
Because
get your message out.
As you see in San Bernardino County, and I personally thought this was all over the world until you came out here and you like, God damn, it's a lot of political advertisements and booklets and commercials, and every time, whenever it's time to vote, like, the information is out there for you. You know what I'm saying? It's just given to you. You can't avoid it if you wanted to.
Well, and again, it depends on the type of areas, because, again, reference to Chicago, like, growing up until relatively recently, you didn't really have choices. Like, I grew up with Baby Daley. So there's the original Mayor Daley, who's like Daley Plaza is named after him. That's the one from the Blues Brothers that they talk about. That's the old school Mayor Daley.
Okay.
You know, in between then you had like the Harold Washingtons and the other people. But then once his son became a possibility, my whole life, for the most part, it was, you know, the other Daley. So outside of Harold Washington, who was like the black mayor, I'd only heard of the two Daleys. And honestly, nobody got votes for mayor until
Littlefoot.
Well, I was about to say until Daley decided he was going to retire. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, that was it. Like, you didn't vote for nobody else. Why waste your vote? Like, that's all you knew about. They didn't even like run against him for real. Like that, there would be like puppet people who ran to give an option. But you wasn't going to...
Did you say puppet people?
Yeah, because you wasn't going to win against the Daley family. Like, no.
You know what's crazy? I was talking to somebody, and they were telling me about that in what state? What state was it? I want to say Michigan. That, like, you really don't have, like, certain people control it. Like, they control the city, they control their county, you know what I'm saying? Like, and kind of like out here, like, if you want to open up a business, you just go open up your business and you go do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Out there, it's like, no, you got to go through people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do it the way that they say do it. And if they don't want you to have it, then you just can't have it. You know what I'm saying? Or look at paying a little punk ass fine. So.
What you just described? Subplot to the movie Four Brothers.
What movie?
Four Brothers, the one you don't like with Mark Wahlberg and Tyrese. That was low key the subplot of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, because the one brother, the reason he got tied in with the mob people that they had to like fight off at the end, was because he had opened up a business and he was gonna like, you know, fix up this huge building and everything. He had all the like grants and everything from the state, but you know, people in the community like, oh no, you gotta pay our taxes. You gotta pay your little local neighborhood taxes, or you ain't finna have this. And he didn't get it. He ended up owing them hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Damn, no. Maybe that's why I don't like that movie. Because when this person was disclosing that to me, I was like, oh, I'm not moving. Like, no. I got this little California lifestyle, this little laid back, do what I want. How you doing, dude? Like, no.
Still adjusting to that lifestyle.
That it's beautiful. I can vote for who I want to. You can even run, and you might got the. I know so many people, like, who actually ran out here and of color and won. Got roles in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is awesome.
That is cool. You might come up missing. You do that in Chicago.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. That sounds like something from like the 20s. The 1920s, not 2020. Not COVID. Yeah.
Well, like I said, like
Spanish flu.
Hey, everything's gangs in Chicago. It always has been. You had the Italian gangs in my.
That's why that bank thing ain't gonna pass in Chicago for the business, for the worker from home.
Like Daddy Daly was part of the Irish mob. That's how he got in power.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, if you wanted me to move to Chicago, you got your mind. All them gangsters.
Well, yeah, what you know how to live by the rules? Like, there's rules to everything.
Nah, see.
Like, those rules make sense to me. This whole.
Living your life the best way you can.
Nah, so many soft people out here that are grown.
What's wrong with being a little soft? A little marshmallow. I'm a little marshmallow.
Yeah.
A little combo.
But you allowed to be.
Okay.
I've had people try to work, like, under me when I was a supervisor for different companies, and they would be like, hey, I gotta get to a client the road isn't very nice. Mm-hmm. So, is the company gonna reimburse my tires? Nah, dog. Like, you could go to work though. Like, have you clocked in any hours yet? Like,
you know, it's funny. Back in the day, you used to be able to write that off just something that just would have been
a work expense,
right? Unreimbursed employee expense.
Yeah.
They didn't have a good tax professional. As of 2 years ago, you can't do that. But before then, if it was before then,
yeah,
they had. Hey, you write it off.
Or like one person had got like they pickup truck lowered, like a lowrider, and then had to drive it out into these mountains. And it was like, they're like, well, are you guys gonna pay for me to get my truck raised? Because I just paid for the load. Like, no.
Get in the car.
Like, why are you driving in these mountains with a lowrider? Like, that defeats the purpose of owning a pickup truck.
Right? Let me see how close I can get to the ground with this truck.
Dude, I saw one completely silent. I'm sorry. I know we jumped off the topic.
He did it, not me, y'all. It wasn't me this time.
Wait, but I was at Home Depot, right? Mm-hmm. And I saw this pickup truck that was lowered. Mm-hmm. And it was so low that, like, I could see completely in the bed, right? As I walked past it. And when I walked past it, it was so low that a big chunk of the middle of the bed was cut out because when it went down, part of the undercarriage and everything pushed up through where the bed would be.
Oh my gosh.
So they had a huge hole in the middle of their truck bed to accommodate the stuff that goes under the truck.
At that point, isn't that an El Camino?
It sat lower than an El Camino.
Damn.
Like, I mean, literally, like, the doors, the bottom of the doors were touching the asphalt.
Oh, so you drive it on your knees?
I mean, I'm sure as they drive, they pick it up. You know.
Oh, it was a legit lowrider.
Yes, it was a legit lowrider.
Oh my god! Have you ever seen those like when they're at the stop sign? I'm at the stop sign, but the light, and they drop down, come up, drop down, go up, and then the lights turn green, and then they can't go.
No, but I've seen the Chicago version. You know what the Chicago version is? That's the one where your exhaust system's so bad that your car just goes and your car shake, and then people act like, oh man, yeah, I just got my new exhaust system put in. Like, look at my bounce, and it's like, you just need a new catalytic converter, sir. Like, you need a new muffler. Like, you do not have lowrider parts in your 1984 box
Pinto.
Chevy.
Pinto.
I've seen decked out box Chevys, but sir, yours is 80% rust. Like,
how did we go to cars? I mean, from bakes to cars. Only us on the nail shop.
Both industries that needed bailouts and didn't do anything for the
community. They didn't do nothing for us.
See how I tied it back in?
Yeah. See, y'all, we don't just be having y'all out here stranded, like talking to y'all about random nonsense. It all loop back around. So,
key point of this was
banks ain't shit in New York.
Obviously, Texas too, because I was
and Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, and to think I wanted to move to Texas. Oh, see, y'all done lost me. Y'all, I was willing to deal with the water. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, y'all get more water than y'all do tornadoes. All right, the floods. I could deal with that, but tax 5% of them. Nah, y'all can. I got 5 in Cali. I tried.
Yeah, that's still a hell of a tax for the privilege of, you know, for the privilege of working from home. And see, when you hear the number, that doesn't sound big until, like you said, most people pay 10% at the end of the year. Like, and they be mad trying to figure out where that money finna come from.
If you ain't got no kids, yeah, you paying them 10%. You paying that 10. You paying that 10%.
And again, so my initial thing goes back to how does this affect like the male community? I mean, like,
I don't know. It's a lot of people. It's shit. People still been in the community trying to recuperate from the fact that they get shut down every other fucking month.
I mean, but that's kind of my point, where it's like you already barely making money, like, and you still got to find ways to report some income, or they look at you like you just a hobby. You know?
Well, that would be after so many years.
I know,
having
I'm just
a year
saying.
or two, nah, it wouldn't affect them. But I know a lot of nail techs who, like, I've seen a lot of posts of people saying, I'm sorry, thank you for being my customer. You done thugged it out with me for 10, 15 years, but I'm not doing nails no more. I have seen a lot of those.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, like, getting another job, starting another business. I've seen a lot of people do, because I mean, at the end of the day, we still gotta provide for our families. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, thank God, this was my second stream. I already had another stream, but a lot of nail techs, they didn't have multiple streams of income, so they're trying to figure it out now. And some people, they don't know how to balance. It's not that they don't know how to balance it. It's just they already balancing too much with the kid schedule and the at-home schedule, and you really don't want to have people coming in your house and doing their nails. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, if they're closing down the shop, then why have them come inside my house? What if they sick?
Oh,
it's a lot of different.
Didn't you tell me that happened to somebody where they knew they had COVID and they didn't tell their nail tech until afterwards?
Yeah, and told them
because they really needed their stuff done.
Yeah.
Before the next shutdown.
Yeah, that happened. And if you're on like Facebook, and I think it even was on Instagram a couple of months ago, but there was like a post going around, a screenshot of like a messenger back and forth, and she gave like back so you could be able to see like this was a prior client, this was somebody who's got their nails done, so you could see like
there was some type of relationship.
There was a relationship, and but pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like this person like was trying to do some shit for some clout, and then you see like this back and forth because you can see the timestamp and the date and all of that, and there was some time, and she had came when they were like barely lifting the stuff off, like in like what was it, July, August, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
They were lifting up some of the restrictions, June, July, August, somewhere around now, and she was like, hey, can I get my nails? Well, she was already trying to come in, but she couldn't get an appointment before then because life, the nail tech had shit to do. But when she finally got her in, she did her nails, everything was good, and about, I won't even say 48 hours later hit, and the client hit up the nail tech and was like, hey, I think you should go and get you and your family tested for COVID. I had COVID. I'm sorry about that, but I really needed to get my nails done because they was getting ready to shut down again. So, because they did the shutdown, did they do the shutdown in August?
That sounds about right.
It was something like that.
I gotta remind myself, October just passed.
Yeah,
so
like this year.
Things that seemed far away really weren't far away.
Right. I can't remember. But it was just this last shutdown that they were doing before Halloween and all of that stuff. But before the kids went back to school. And
yes, that's around early August.
Yeah, before the kids went back to school. And the nail tech was like, what do you mean you had like? Is this like a typo or some shit? Like what you mean? And
like maybe you meant I had.
Yeah.
Like
right. And she was like, "Oh no, I knew I had COVID when I came to see you, but I knew they was getting ready to shut down again, and I really need to get my nails done." And what pissed me off was I'm like, because she was talking about how she's quarantining and all this other shit, and I'm like, well, if you was gonna be in the house anyway, I didn't need your nails done. Like, you could have had her make you some press-ons. That's what the whole nail community was like. Girl, you could have had her make you some press-ons. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you needed your nails done if you wanted your nails done that back, she didn't need them done. But she was just like, she was scared. Everybody felt really bad for her. She was like, oh my God, I got a baby. Like, what am I supposed to do? If I'm not mistaken, I think she was a single mom. You know what I'm saying?
And what if she would have died?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. But the girl just kept saying, like, I'm sorry, girl, but you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. And and I'm there for the comments. Like, I want to see what people saying. And it was crazy because I had read the little post before it went viral. Okay, because it was in like, I don't want to pull out the name of the group because then I might try to add it. But it's specifically for nail technicians. And when I seen it, I was just like, oh my God. And I knew it was going to be in due time before somebody screenshotted it and shared it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't even want to go there, but I knew it was going to happen. And, but the comment, I went back for the comment. And people was like, that's why I ain't taking no new clients. She like, do you not realize that this was, because it was other people seeing what I also seen.
Yeah.
There was a relationship built. So that means that there was trust. That means you know my family. Because when you're doing nails from home or any fucking place, I don't care where you're doing them at. When you've done somebody's nails for over a period of time, you know about their kids. You know about if they married, if they dating, if they kids get on their nerves, if they trying to have some kids.
Depending on the community, you know their relatives.
Right. So you know these people. Like, and you may not have even seen them, but you probably know more stories than that person would ever think that they would know about you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you're there when you're getting your nails done, especially when the more detailed it is. Like, some nail techs, they want to talk. You know what I'm saying? Some don't. Like, I know personally, before I was a nail tech, I'll dump your ass if you didn't talk to me. I don't care how good your nails was. Like, you're not just my nail tech. You're my therapist, too. Like, you're my little girlfine for these 2 hours.
Which is so funny. You're the exact opposite now as a customer.
Right.
Now you don't want nail techs talk.
I don't. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Do not talk to me. Shut up. Like, because you know why? Now that I've been in the seat, I understand it takes a lot of fucking skill to be able to talk, do the nails, it's a lot.
To be on autopilot and not miss steps.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And be able to go back and forth with a person, and it's a lot. So now that I'm like, okay, just do, I don't want to sound rude, but just do my nails. We ain't got to talk. Let me zone out. Let me go to sleep. Because now I want to go to sleep. Like, but bringing people inside of your home is like, so it's like, I understand why a lot of these nail techs are like, I got to find something else to do.
And, I mean, the specific area we in is technically small, but we're not in a small area.
No.
Like, we're in one of the bigger areas.
Right.
And it's like, the communities get so small so quick because, just look at a perfect example. Like, me and your father, 2 separate industries, have had the same clients before.
That shit is funny.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, in my industry, my boss has stipulated under no circumstances are we allowed to be in anybody's house right now.
Oh.
For any reason.
Oh, okay.
Like, everything has to be telehealth. Period and point blank.
So you gonna charge somebody who ain't got no choice. But you know why?
Well, no, the reason I say that is because your father's more of a hands-on business.
Yeah.
So it feels like, and I can't give out people's info. Yeah. So it's like.
What do you mean?
Okay. So we had a technical glitch. The point of my story was two completely unrelated industries can still tie into each other and mess up a good plan.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to hear what you just said about Uber, because I was saying the importance of voting and knowing what's up for vote, and not only, and I was throwing myself in this, I said we, because I'm the main gossiper in this family, don't have to just talk about Love and Hip Hop and 90 Day Fiance and other stuff that we've seen.
Right.
We can also throw in stuff like, yo, did you hear this BS, like how we started this conversation? Yo, you hear about this BS that they're trying to pass?
Right.
And that's when you started talking about.
I was telling you how I went to Vegas, and right before this last vote, and I asked my Uber and Lyft drivers how they felt about, the bill that was the prop that was trying to get passed. I think it was Proposition 19. I can't remember, but it was the what do they call them, gig workers or whatever. And I would ask people, and they would tell me like, well, I don't even know what it is, or I don't know, or no one told me like, oh, no, I want to be self-employed. I like being self-employed. Or no, I want to be considered an employee. A lot of fucking people did not know. And I was just in one little, I don't take Uber and Lyft everywhere or like on a daily. I was on a little vacation for about a week, and that was like my means of transportation to get back and forth to places. But so within that interaction, and even when I came back to California, I had because I had to go down to the DMV and make sure that my license was okay. And I was like, I'm not gonna drive. Like, even though I could, I don't know what's going on with this license. It's better safe than sorry. So I took Uber down there, and it was funny because the DMV person was like, well, you could have did it. And I was like, well, shit, I didn't know until I came down here. Like, what if something would have happened? Like, the police wouldn't have known. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyways, I was just trying to be more safe than sorry. And I remember asking him, and that it was really interesting to ask him, because this was the first time I'd ever got picked up by the same person who dropped me off. Okay, I've never had that happen. Okay, it's always different people.
Yeah.
And when it popped up on my screen, because I didn't ask him the first when he picked me up, and when he dropped me off, but when he picked me up the second time, I was like, I'm gonna ask him, and I even asked him like, because I'm like, this is the first time I ever seen the same driver. I've never seen the same driver. So, you know, this is perfect. Maybe he wants to be considered an employee, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, I was just chit-chatting with him, and he was telling me, you know, through a little chit-chat that another person also commented that he was the same person that picked them up and dropped them off, and they couldn't believe it, and they have never seen that. And he was like, oh, I guess that's just how I get them. I don't know. And he was like, there's not that many, Uber and Lyft drivers out here. And I had chopped it up, so I was like, it's probably, the whole COVID thing right now. People like, I ain't trying to have nobody in my car.
Right.
But what I had took from there, when I asked him, I was like, do you have a right? And he was like, no. He was an older man, though. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, he's probably getting a little retired. He already probably get like a little retirement check. He probably got a little pension. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got his little fixed income. This is just some extra money. Get him out the house. Get him. He didn't say that.
I would hope.
But that, God, I would hope. Lord Jesus. He had a nice enough car, so I would hope. You can usually tell when they're rented out, when they lease out a car. Like, I'm nosy, y'all. Y'all don't want to know how I know, but I know.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like,
y'all don't want to know how I know.
That's a conversation for a different podcast.
Yeah, y'all don't want to know how I know, but I know. I know, but anyway. He didn't have a preference. And it to me, I was like, I think that was one prop. Because I think every time it's time to vote, it's always one prop that I kind of like hold on to. And I remember, like, dang, I was like, because I feel because I don't know how to vote. And
Mine-
I legit feel like I'm going to hurt somebody.
Mine was the dialysis one.
Oh,
Because I kept
okay.
seeing all the commercials saying like, if you vote yes on this, then like I'm gonna lose. I might lose my center. and all
But did
this.
you read
Right, but the thing was, it's like all it's stipulating is that there needs to be a doctor on staff.
Right, there needs to be a doctor and a registered nurse, and it has to be clean.
Yeah.
I was like, the fact that you're saying it has to be clean, and you're fucking upset because they're saying it needs to be. Oh, you're gonna shut down so many dialysis places. Only thing I thought was that just means your place ain't up to par.
Well, my thing was because you didn't need both. You just needed a doctor or an RN.
Okay.
And my thing is, seeing so many people trying to go to nursing school,
Mm-hmm.
we have an abundance of RNs in this state.
Over an abundance.
So it's like to the point that because so many people was trying to get in on it for the higher pay,
Right.
that now we have more RNs than jobs.
Right.
So you shouldn't be an issue with that.
No.
So, but I couldn't get a straight answer on what you saw me searching for weeks. Like, what is this about? I couldn't get a straight answer, so I started, which is why I'm glad, at least in California. Like, yeah, I don't know how other states are. I don't remember us doing this in Illinois, but you guys hand out those booklets that tell you what everything's about.
Yep.
And even then, they'll still word it differently on the actual
book.
On the election.
The ballot. On the ballot.
Yeah.
Than it was on
It was a little more confusing on the ballot.
Matter of fact, I think, is this one of them? It is. Here goes one. Here it is right here.
Yeah. But my whole thing is, especially now that the election's over, I feel like most people look at voting like, all right, well, I don't got to worry about this for like another 4 years.
No, in 2 years
like,
you got to vote
be knowledgeable again. Because this is when they sneak stuff in.
Right.
Like this tax that they get, that's why.
That's going to be in 2 years. So like all the stuff that's going to happen to your county, to your state, any type of DAs that's going to get brought in, any type of new judges that's going to get brought in, their voting happens in 2 years.
Right.
Okay.
And everybody was bragging about all this record turnout. Like,
and this does not happen in November. That voting happens in March.
And again, everyone's talking about all this record turnout. Like, so for all you people who really thought it was important to vote this election,
you have to vote even more.
Don't start slipping now, because right now is when they're going to slip in all the BS of a 5% daily income tax.
Or like for me, I mentioned that I'm a tax professional, right? Right before COVID hit, they was trying to hit us with this new freaking law that made it impossible for a tax preparer to do their job. Like, utterly impossible to do their job. But not only impossible to do their job, to find them in ways that we couldn't even afford, because so basically they wanted to add something, okay? And by adding something, it meant that we already have to disclose like all of this stuff to our clients, okay? But they wanted us to actually get a signature that we were going to talk about it before, okay? So you have to have a signature and a date and a time. Then after you're done with the taxes, then you have to list out every single thing that you went over with them. You got to list it out and then have them sign it again. And that has nothing to do with signing the actual tax papers. I was like, oh, you don't know how bad I'm going to get cussed out. They don't want to sign the one paper.
That's going to get them they check.
Right. They don't want to sign that paper. So you think that I'm about to get these people
They just want to show up and have you give them like a gift card.
Yeah, it's like, where's my money at? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, wait, let me go over this stuff first. Let's,
like, how you know I'm not about to rob you?
Let's go over these numbers. What's going on? Give me a second, But if you think that I'm about to have to get, and then you have to, after you get the signatures, you have to mail it in within so many days of the signature. And it wasn't even 30 fucking days, dude. It was like the shortest time frame. And if you didn't, the penalty for each person is like, dude, we don't even charge these people this much. Like, we don't even charge them a percentage of this much.
Yeah.
Like, All it would take would be 2 times to mess that up, and the person would go completely out of business. What is wrong with you? So I remember I was calling. I had to call my senator. I had to call my local councilman. Okay, and then let my local councilman know what was going on. And then they gave me my representative's number, and then I have to call the representative and let them know so we can get this bill not passed. You know what I mean?
That stuff works. Like I've heard I've heard many people in politics say, like, all this like protesting and other stuff that don't, like, literally find out who your senator and House rep is.
Yep.
And write them a letter. Like, you can't get a meeting with them,
but you can also
leave messages.
Yes, you can.
Like voicemails.
Yes, you can.
That they have to like.
They have to take it.
Yeah.
Yes, they.
Like they don't got to take your actual call, but they got to take your
message.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. And when I did it, because I did it a couple different times and to different people, okay? Because I'm like, I needed my legislator to know, and I needed the council person to know. You know, I needed as many people I can get to the governor that I possibly could. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because once certain things go up for, to pass, like, I need somebody to represent me. Yeah. Somebody needs to already be in their ear. But without me calling and leaving messages and letting them know who I am, I'm a taxpayer, what I do for my community, the fact that I'm established in my community, the fact that, like, the things that I do, you know what I'm saying? That lets them know, okay, well, I gotta represent you because you the person I'm trying to get they vote for. They take all of that stuff down, and you can even tell them to read it back to you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they'll read it back to you to make sure you can make sure that they not BSing you.
Yeah.
And then you can leave a number. I'm not saying they're going to call you back. Right. You know what I'm saying? They not even going to say that they're calling you back. But they appreciate them phone calls.
Because, you got to think about it, whether, you're in an industry where you work in a shop or you're in an industry where you work in a high-rise. You know what I mean? Like, if you work in a corporate setting, how often do you know what the rule changes are until HR comes down on you?
Right.
Says, you violated this. When did that become a rule?
Right.
Or even in, like, a nail shop situation where it's like the person who owns the shop might have been like, oh, we got new rules. Like, like, even in the movies when they talk about it, like, Ice Cube came and said, no more rap music. And they're like, since when?
No, it's so funny because my dad being a barber, I usually can tell what's going to be happening with state boards because we got the same state board that we got to comply to. And I promise you, I know if he said state board just came by, they didn't change some shit. Because they only come by when they change something and they know that you don't know, so they can hit you with a fine.
Right.
So I mean, I'd be like, oh, let me go see what's going on. And one of the things that they had just recently changed was the fact that barbers, you had to set up certain type of things in your shop to be considered self-employed. And I remember going over that with my daddy before they came up in there. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, they gotta have their license, they actual professional license. Then they gotta have a license from. This is just for. Don't go trying to apply this to your city, your county. This was just for my dad in his county. Okay. They needed a city license. They needed the county license, and then they needed their barber license all up in their station displayed, and that's it.
Yeah.
As long as they had all of that, and as long as they had their own key, which everybody in the shop had their own key, so I didn't have to go over all of that. There was nothing else that you needed. But if State Board walked up in there and you didn't have all of those things up in there, that is not a self-employed person. That is your employee. Now give me your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you got to have certain paperwork for employees. You got to have certain workers' compensations for employees. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And just like you don't know when they change up rules like that. Like, again, these senators, the House reps don't vote on every single bill.
No.
They may not even know what's up. Some of them may not know what's up until they go to vote, and then they have no knowledge.
Whatever, let me vote on it.
Yeah.
And that's why. And I knew for a fact, me being just a little old tax professional, this damn senator who was trying to get it passed, They didn't know nothing about this. He had an agenda out. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? A personal vendetta that he wanted to get out. And I was like, no. Y'all need to know how this is going to affect us. Like, y'all need to know how this is. Because, see, what a lot of people don't understand is a lot of your senators, I'm not saying all, some. There's a lot of senators, a lot of governors, mayors that'll go out there and link up and be buddy with these big brands, these big corporations, okay? And be like, hey, let me cut you some money. I need to eliminate these mom and pop businesses, okay? Because I want all the money, all right? So I need you to help me come up with some type of bill, some type of law, so we can eliminate these people so I can get this money. Bam, the banks.
Well, and I was gonna say on a smaller level, but probably even more impactful. Like all it takes, like think about how you. That's why it's called politics and office politics. Like
Right.
think about how you network. If like you come in and you don't know how you voting on something,
Mm-hmm.
and then like somebody you trust or somebody you cool with is like, oh no, here's why you should vote this way.
You're gonna vote that way.
Oh, you gotta be like, oh okay, that makes sense.
So you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
You're gonna do it. It's human nature. It's human nature.
yeah.
You know, that's why people link up with people that they like in the same interest. Because it makes it easier for you to be able to hear the things that they're saying because they got the same views as you. They got the same like mind as you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, okay, well, we understand the same things and I can go ahead and I can take that. Now, if that would have been the same person and they know that they cool with that person, but they're always like you and your one cousin who always like just fight, who just to fight, but it's not like a bickering.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That same person gonna be like, well, you know what? I did think that that probably was a good bill, but since they said something about it, maybe I'm good. It's okay. They voting
The
on
whole
it.
contrarian thing.
Yeah, like it's okay. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So you also got to be careful with who you telling your stuff to because they may try to go against you.
And see, the way a lot of in my whole life, I've been told this, and we've even learned it in school.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they'll sneak in stuff at the end of a bill just to get it passed through, and they'll put it like something like that they know people hate on something people love, just to try to get it fast passed.
Right.
But my thing is, like you said, people need to take advantage of what did you say, Senate.gov?
Senate.gov.
You know, and take advantage of these resources. Because you can see, like, you can't just judge everybody based on, like, oh, they voted against. Just what was the rest of that bill? Like, what was the rest of that proposal? Well, you know what I'm saying? What was the rest of that proposition?
Right.
You know, and that's how they try to make, you know, they pick apart stuff. You, as the voter, got to be knowledgeable, you know, because that's how if this tax gets passed, that's one of the things that they're going to do is sneak it in with something else.
Yeah, like a school bill.
Yeah, which means you got to start paying attention to like, okay, what's getting passed that they want to get passed that I might be like, nah.
Right.
You know, so take advantage of your resources. We're like one of the few countries in the world that have all these resources to know this stuff.
There go that dialysis one. Here, read it. Because that was hilarious.
Requires physician, nurse practitioner, or physician assistant on site during dialysis treatment. Prohibits clinics from reducing services without state approval. Prohibits clinics from refusing to treat patients based on payment source. Fiscal impact. Increased state and local government costs likely in the low tens of millions of dollars annually. So, Prop 23 establishes state requirements for kidney dialysis clinics, requires on-site medical professional and initiative statute. And that's the book they sent out. But that's not how it was worded on the ballot when it added cleanliness and other stuff.
And that's why. And another thing that people don't also know is they can send out these books and they can make amendments to the bills. So if you're not staying up on it.
Yeah, if you're one of those people who like pre-mark everything and then they just go in and fill out your scorecard.
Right, they can make an amendment and you may not like it. You know what I'm saying? So It's a lot of things that you got to be aware of, and the fact that we live in a country where all of this stuff is in our fingertips, you need to do it.
And it's something that could affect you so adversely. Like again, 5% may sound tiny,
Right.
but
That's a lot of money.
if your income tax that you pay at the end of the year is 10%,
Right.
you know, you've raised your tax accountability by 50%.
Right.
Imagine paying 50% more taxes.
Right. Right.
You know, oh man.
So yeah, for the U.S. Senate, it's gonna be just Senate.gov, and they're gonna tell it. And I like the website. I go on there. Y'all gotta excuse me quite frequently, because it'll tell you certain days are allocated for certain bills for discussion. Okay, certain things only get voted on certain days. New things only get brought in on certain days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And things are so you're not, you may not see like the armed force stuff that needs to be passed with the school stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the funny thing, because that's why this scene is always so funny to me in movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's all Addams Family. What's one of your favorite scenes in Addams Family? When old boy tries to come in and try to con him out the money in the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells him, no, old man. He's like, new business is discussed at the beginning of the quarter. This is the end of the quarter.
Yes.
So we won't be discussing new business until
March.
But that's how it goes in real life. Like, new business is new business. Old business is old business.
And we're going to take care of the old business
before we address the new
business. Exactly.
Which means you got to stay on top of all the business.
Right. So it's like, that is so funny, because when you go on there, you do see, like, when there was like all the COVID stuff going on. Well, it's still going on, but it was going on there, and it felt really good to see that stuff from 2018 was being worked on in 2020. Thank you.
And honestly, if you don't want to sit there and go through this websites and stuff, they got apps for this.
Yeah, they do.
They got apps for that you can, to make it easy for you to scroll through this stuff.
Yeah,
like,
because it's not the bills. I'm not, unless you know how to read those type of documents, like the formatting, it'll piss you off. But the government uses the same type of formatting, just a slightly bit different, so I know how to go through it and avoid certain numbers. But damn it, go to the index. Everything always has an index, and it's gonna tell you what topic is gonna be on what section, what page, and just jump to that if you want to avoid all the other BS.
If you want to avoid the legalness and the jargon,
right? Then go on there and you can find it. You can, you know what I'm saying? If you don't, because I don't trust the apps like that unless it's straight from the government. The only reason why is because I've noticed that these people will put out their biasnesses in.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about the government apps.
Okay. Yeah, but. And so you gotta do your own. You gotta do your research.
And don't forget what people kept preaching during this election. Like, and I don't care who you voted for. Both sides were preaching the same thing.
Yeah.
That, you know, is not only your right but your responsibility to know about this stuff and vote. Like, especially in this field, there's a lot of not only females but minorities who work within a nail setting. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, both of those groups had to fight to vote. Yeah. No matter what race you are.
Right. You have to fight.
If you're a female, you have any type of, minority status in you, ethnic wise, racially wise, you had to fight to get a vote historically.
Period. Period.
So it's like, don't just be one of those people who show up and be like, that looks like a good one to choose.
Right.
Like, know about it. Like, if you could know Stevie J business. Yeah. And you know what I mean when I'm referring to surfing on them shower rods?
Oh my God, Mimi.
Yeah, see? You knew.
I only knew because of you, though.
It don't matter why you know. You knew because somebody gossiped and told you about it.
Yes.
I said I'm the man gossip. So this isn't a man trying to be like, you women gossip. You only knew because of me.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? She was surfboarding. on and while she was shower riding. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, if we could know about that, we could know like, hey, did you hear about that tax increase they about to put on us?
Yeah, them tax increase. I want to hear and knows about the tax increase.
I want to know who's voting for it, what states are trying to push it, what banks are trying to push it, because those banks may not need my business.
Yeah, you're not lying. That's why I said it was a chase.
I know.
But I got a bank account with a black bank too. Don't get it twisted. It's just
it's open 3 days a year, but
you see,
they'll say do your money on the 5th Friday of February.
You know what? Yeah, I heard Killer Mike got a bank now. I'm gonna check his out. But
that's what's up.
Yeah, my bank they just too far, and when I really need to get business done, I can't. Or I have to drive 2.5 hours one way.
But they still won't give you your money.
They gave me my damn money, God.
They thought it.
That was a lot of money
they
had to give me. Come on, they lost a lot of interest. Come on, man.
Excuse me, ma'am. You have 7 forms of ID. 7.
Oh my. You know what? For the amount of money that I was taking out, I promise you, like in retrospect, I'm a little happy that they went so hard on the paint. Like,
yeah, but once you gave them all the documents,
I was pissed.
Yeah,
I was mad. Like,
I usually only carry 6. Let me see if I can find my 7th.
It was like 4.
Yeah,
it was some obscene ass number, and because I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
We need your license, your social
security card,
your birth certificate, your
no,
library card,
stupid. Nah,
3 major credit cards.
They wanted my debit card, my license, my social security card. I think a fucking bill.
I just said mail.
I think fucking bill. If I'm not mistaken.
All for you to take your money out not to borrow money.
No.
For you to make a withdrawal.
From my own. It was a big fucking withdrawal. Baby.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying, if you would have went to a non-black bank, you would have assumed they was being racist.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
But that's why I say it's not always racism.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sometimes it's about money. It's not always racism.
Oh
people.
Yeah. Because if it wasn't the fact that was a black man asking me, yeah, you right. You right. Damn, you just took me all the way back, man. Oh man. Cause I ain't never heard of that. And to this day, like I'm still like, well, I ain't drawing off that much money either. Like that shit just in the account.
And they still wouldn't give you cash. They go, you gonna take this cashier's check?
No,
where am I gonna cash it at?
No, yeah. Oh my God, you remember that?
Because it's like, you my bank. I'm supposed to cash a cashier's check with you.
Yeah.
Give me my.
They did not want to give me that fucking money, man. But are you? And then
but that's a
got
good question.
Manager.
That's a good question though. Who's gonna cash this cashier's check if my bank won't?
Right. Oh God.
They look at you like you better take this to one of the white banks.
Like, mad at me. Shit. Yo. I'm sorry. Dang.
So be aware. Be aware, people. They trying to tax us out of our money. And this goes beyond the nail tech. Anybody working from home. They trying to get your money because all this stuff that we suffering through, staying home with the kids, providing extra food, like you said, increased light bill, increased internet speed bill. You know what I'm saying? Increased gas bill.
Food.
You know what I'm saying? You eating more, you snacking more. You know what I'm saying?
People who gotta pay water, you got more trash. I swear I feel like we take out the trash 3 times a day in this house.
You know what I'm saying? Every day. Like you might use more electricity just from vacuuming more because there's more traffic going in the house.
Oh God, I can't stand it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like all these other expenses that we have to pay for, they don't care about because we have the privilege of working from home.
I'm telling you right now, it's not a privilege because I don't want to privilegely go out and go get no office that I got to go get that I'm stressed out about.
And my thing is, I get that they trying to target the people again in like areas like New York where they don't go downtown New York anymore. Like I told you, like that one person, like I heard about, he bought a whole house in Florida sight unseen just because the rent was cheaper than where he was living. He got like 4 times the house for a quarter of the money. And he's just going to do all his downtown New York business via Zoom in a whole nother state. Yeah. So they're looking at people like that they targeted.
Right.
But who going to be the one paying the tax? Nail techs, behavioral people, like phone representatives, like anybody who could possibly do their job from home, and we not making like millions a year are going to be ones paying that tax. Because at the end of the day, the people from like who go from a state like New York where you paying a minimum of 20% in taxes to a state like Florida has 0% in state income taxes, they winning regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna get that money out of them. It's the people who stay in New York that are gonna have to pay that.
Right.
So it's like you punishing people who are trying to thug it out with you. That's who they punishing.
Yeah, they penalizing them. They penalizing them.
Like in California, how many people are leaving our county, like one of the biggest counties, well, the biggest county in the country, to go move to like the middle of California, where it was cheaper.
I know some people who then was like, "F it, I'm leaving the state."
A lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like they leaving the state, they leaving L.A. and San Francisco, trying to move to like Fresno. You know what I'm saying? Because they think it's gonna be cheaper, and it's like those are the people. It's like, but all the people who stayed in L.A. and San Francisco and thugging it out are the ones who are gonna be paying more, which already have high taxes.
Yup. Oh man.
Be knowledgeable, people. That's all we trying to tell you.
And like we like to say, love, peace, and keep your nails on fleek.
Yeah.
Yeah.